So, Quentin Tarantino is one heck of a filmmaker, very influential. And when he was producing Kill Bill, he recruited an actress from Battle Royale. He said, hey, I was very impressed with your performance. And she played, what was that, Go-Go, like one of the guards for one of the people that are our protagonist is trying to get revenge on. In the near future, the economy has collapsed, unemployment has soared, and juvenile crime has exploded. Fearful of their nation's youth, the Japanese government passes the BR law. Each year, a ninth grade class is sent to a remote island where they will be locked into exploding neck collars, given a random weapon, and forced to hunt and kill each other until there was only one survivor left. Chiaki Kuriyama, that's who, and screen legend Takeshi Kitano of Boiling Point Brother, star in the movie that has been argued, acclaimed, and banned around the world. More than a decade later, remains one of the most savage, shocking, emotionally powerful films of all time. Now experience the complete director's cut of Kinji Fukasaku's uncompromising masterpiece, nominated for 10 Japanese Academy Awards, available uncensored and unrated for the first time ever in North America. If you love The Hunger Games, Battle Royale set the stage, one of the best and most violent genre films ever made. It's also a hell of a lot of fun. Battle says Entertainment Weekly. Battle Royale is not just a fantastic film, but important work on the precipice of the most dangerous period facing us in the last 40 years. Says Harry Knowles, ain't it cool news? Modern day masterpiece, Dread Central. I saw this in 2009, Halloween 2009, and I had no idea what was going on. And then I also saw Nightmare on Elm Street. This one stood out more. And it's just, yeah. And also, coincidentally, it's the first time I had a 5-hour energy drink. I was taking around 8 p.m. I was up until 6 in the morning, but I was 19. So, yeah. Jeez, talk about controversial with this one. It's, like I said, all these children get, they get, blah, 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 to a remote island, and, is it fun? I guess you could say it is. At the same time, it's not pretty. One could see, the generational clash of the old school, where the person portraying the teachers kind of represents the old authoritative, I wouldn't say super authoritarian way, but still the way to keep the youth in check. This is also one of the themes of the epic anime movie Akira, about the anger and frustration of youth. Just like how there's all this rioting and stuff going on, and it all somehow works out extremely well. You are not bored in this movie. Oh, no, you're not. Because just this savage premise, it's like I've heard compared to Lord of the Flies. Yeah, Lord of the Flies, and it's like all the other ones, all movies that inspired it. This movie goes by, it feels weighty and hectic in a good way. Just, you wonder who is going to survive next and who's going to be eliminated. Do you feel for these kids? Yeah, being put into this objectively god-awful scenario, and you're like, yeah, especially when we get the two leads that go on, it's like, you look at them and you're like, I just feel bad for you, it's like you could tell they're like developing a romance and things like that. And it's like we get maybe 5 more central characters. We get one who survived one of the previous battle royales, and we get another person who's a transfer student, and he's kind of portrayed just like, hey, I'm supposed to be this badass who wears a bulletproof vest and everything, and we see him a couple of times, and he's there, I guess. I don't know. I just don't get it. Maybe it was explained more in the book and the manga, of course, but ultimately, I just feel like He just added up what was supposed to be some type of danger, but we didn't get anything from him. And, it's like, whatever, I don't care. Sometimes you just get that nameless, sometimes you just get that, I guess, nameful villain who's there. Whatever. Yeah, there's also some attempts to, like, I guess, distort, like, the feed that was going on towards the command where the teacher and the army is and everything else. So I'm like, yes, we actually get to see some ingenuity. Everything gets disrupted, but it felt like it was all, I don't know. I just had a problem with it. I was like, yeah, it's all hyped up. Hey, we can get these collars removed and everything, but it just felt like all that the teacher did was just reset a circuit breaker. And I'm like, what? That's it? There was panic for maybe a minute, 2 minutes tops. I don't know. That's like the only thing I really had any issues with. It's just, I don't get it. But whatever. That's just more nitpicking than anything else. Yeah. It's like, some of the central themes are like what I said. Is like teamwork, discipline, and the anguish and frustration of youth that's going on in Japan. Because it's like when you have to go to 5 days for school, and then you sometimes go to for like additional classes and everything else like that. It's like this is like the lifestyle, the salaryman lifestyle, and everything else. It's like it. I'm glad that it's changing and it's not so rigid. I mean, there's even a Japanese word for karoshi, which means death by overworking, and it's not pretty. Let's just say that. So, I guess this is just a way of how to just kind of like take a just getting a 70-mile-an-hour super tank right at the issue, and be like, hey, we're going to be very visceral about showing what's going on here, with addressing a problem, but at the same time not making like a super thing. It's like it's there. You gotta pay attention, understand a little more of the cultural stuff going on. So, of course, the Japanese Parliament wanted to try and get the book and the movie banned, and it's just like, well, it's like when you mention that, when you do try and get it banned, it's going to have the Barbra Streisand effect of when you try and keep something hidden, and then when you keep mentioning it over and over, a person's eventually going to want to know, just like with what you tell a kid and stuff like that. Like, hey, don't look in this box, Jimmy. And then 30 minutes later, little Jimmy looks inside. It's like, yeah, he's just so. There was, of course, Toei, not Toho, Toei, the people who produced Dragon Ball. Uh, it was like, supposedly this movie was banned for because of just how violent everything else was. But there are like three main reasons why it didn't get a proper release here in the States. Three: Columbine. Two, their licensing fee would have been too high for some like the more independent labels, and three, and some of the major ones didn't want to pick it up. So it's probably just a combination of everything. So it's just like, geez, and all the children who were on set like performed all their own stunts. They were kind of like Tom Cruise, if you will. So I just think, yeah, it's like, I guess some of the scenes that stand out is like when everything's being explained in the classroom. It's like, we get this idolish looking person who's explaining everything that's going on, trying to be cute about it, but then explaining such the premise. It's just like such a juxtaposition. There's a lighthouse. There's like a lighthouse scene where there's one boy and a whole bunch of girls, and it's like, it's not what you think. The kid's injured, and it's like, hey, we're going to take. It's like, it's like one of the managers put in some poison as one of the weapons inside the food, and it just goes, and it is dark, very darkly funny. Just all the chaos ensues with the firearm and everything, and it just becomes quite a commotion. The scene where they're hacking and everything and trying to collect all the ingredients, that was pretty cool, and just the kind of stakeouts of trying to just get everything, it was interesting to see that. So those were some interesting ones, but yeah. Ultimately, this movie would influence, of course, The Condemned, the Belko Experiment, what was that? The Hunger Games, of course, and it would kind of just start this whole trend for young adult novels and everything else. So, it's very interesting stuff. Ultimately, I think this is a movie that really does need to be seen by a lot of people just for the visceral experience and all the social and some of the social commentary. There's not as much as I thought there would be, but it's still a good amount of shit that's going on. And the director was a World War II person who survived, so he had a personal stake in it when adapting a novel. So yeah, again, outside of like maybe one or two kind of scenes that felt I felt flat, I highly recommend Battle Royale.